heart beating. So to get to college, each one of us spent 17,200 hours studying math, science, English, a second language, all the subjects in between. But we didn't spend many hours practicing the one skill that's going to take us farther in our career than any of those subjects: communication. If you would have known that you would rely on communication in 99% of job interviews, that 46% of us, college graduates, are going to be getting a job in sales after college, that 13% of us are going to be in sales for the rest of our life, and that 60% of our day is spent in oral communication, do you think you would have spent a few of those 17,280 hours it takes to be successful in communicating? So I'm here today to share 3 simple strategies that I believe are our obligation to practice as human beings, be successful communicators, and hopefully can give you guys a strategy to make some extra money in your lives. So first thing is to stop and think. You got to be completely mindful of every situation that you're in. I'll give an example. When you go to Chipotle, you get in line and you want the extra meat. And if you're like me, this happens to you about 3 or 4 times a week. And you get there, and if you're an unmindful person, you get to the line, you see them starting to flip the tortilla, asking you about rice, asking you about beans. You got your beans, you got your rice, you tell them steak. They do that little shake-off thing where they're shaking the meat off the spoon. You're getting pissed off. You want that extra meat, and you say, "Hey man, can you give me some extra meat?" This is the unmindful person. That person, what he's thinking is, "You're cheap. Don't tell me how to do my job. And all right, man, take a little extra meat." The mindful person, as soon as they get to that front of the line, as soon as they get to that tortilla, they're going to start their ask. They're going to start socializing with that person, maybe even the next person. The next point brings us right into our next point. We have to learn an effective communication strategy that we can use in these everyday situations. And there's a ton of experts on social selling, the challenger sale, relationship selling, contract negotiation, cold calling, whatever kind of sales and communication you can name. There's an expert out there, and there's a blog and content that you can read. There's probably people in this room that have blogs and content that you can use and you can read to learn a communication strategy to be successful. So I'll give you an example of this. One of my favorites, Walt Disney, one of the best storytellers and communicators of all time. He has a way, I don't know what his formula is, but for captivating your attention, for getting you interested in every character in the story, and for making you feel that you're spending the best hour and a half of your life while you're watching cartoons in Fantasyland. There's no fluke there. He has a repeatable, scalable formula that he uses every single time, and I think it's our obligation for every single one of us to have a repeatable, scalable formula for you to use in your everyday lives. Now I'm going to share the repeatable, scalable formula that I use in my life. I didn't invent it. This is the Disney slide. The formula that I use, I found it and I've grabbed onto it. Call it Why You, Why Me, Why Now. So back to the Chipotle story, again, 3-4 days a week. I get to the line, right, starting to socialize with that guy, and I'm not telling him, my name, I'm not telling him anything about me. I'm talking about him. Hey, how's your day going? How are you doing? Anything about him that I can talk about, whether he's wearing good earring, whether, necklace, whatever it may be, I'm talking about him and why this should be important to him. And then, my next thing is, man, I'm really hungry. I love those beans. I love rice, man. Ooh, I need that protein. I just had a great workout. It's why me. And as soon as we get to that steak, again, it's, man, that workout was hard. Man, I need that protein. And every single time, it works. Every single time. Okay. So, we've gone over 2 things. Being extremely mindful of every situation that you're in. Let me tell you, every single day, we're in dozens, if not hundreds of situations where we want to influence it, and we either do or don't for whatever reason, but we can and we have the ability to. So we've gone through being mindful, Second part is going out and learning a strategy that you can communicate and use in all these different situations. And it doesn't matter what that strategy is, as long as it resonates with you and you feel like you can use it. And then the third point is practicing it. Practicing that strategy in every single one of these situations. If we have a dozen, 100 opportunities every single day, by the end of the day, we've practiced 100 times. In 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, we're going to be an expert. And you're going to know, you're going to start to feel good about these things. You're going to start seeing success in your life. Albert Einstein once said, if you can't explain it simply enough, you don't understand it well enough. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. And that is more true for communication than anything in the world. So I want to leave you with a challenge for today. Go out, be extremely mindful in every situation that you're in of what you want to accomplish. Go out, learn a communication strategy, and practice it in every single situation that you're in. And I promise you, you'll be living a happier, more successful life where you're influencing, persuading, communicating, and selling at a rate that you never thought was imaginable. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.